Hello students, today we will start with chapter number 3, that is reproduction in human. Now there are some important features regarding human, that is first is sexual dimorphism. That means male and female are morphologically different. From outside only we can differentiate between the male and female sexes. Now vivipary, humans are vivipary, that means they are giving birth to the young ones. Now third term is that is gametogenesis. All the human undergo the process of gametogenesis, that is synthesis of gametes, male and female gametes by the male and female reproductive system. Now there are two types of the primary sex organ and secondary sex organ. Primary sex organs are the gonads, that is testes in male and ovary in female, and the secondary sexual characters are the accessory ducts and other parts which are helping the testes and ovary in production of the gamete as well as further functioning. Now we'll start with first the male reproductive system, then we'll discuss about female reproductive system. Now the male reproductive system consists of different organs, then different ducts, glands which are helping them. Then after the male reproductive system, we will study about the functioning of the male reproductive system and then how these functioning of the male reproductive system is controlled, which is controlled by the hormonal system or regulated by the hormonal system. That we will discuss one by one. Now first of all, we will start with the male reproductive organs. It consists of number 1, a pair of testes, then accessory ducts, then male reproductive sex glands, then which are controlling the activity of the male reproductive organs, and external genitalia. A pair of testes present in the abdominal cavity, outside the abdominal cavity of the human body, male body. Now this is 2 in number, and inside it is present inside a covering that is known as sac-like structure known as scrotum, in which it is present. Now the temperature inside the scrotum is less than 2 to 2.5 degree centigrade less than the normal body temperature, so that the spermatogenesis takes place. For the survival of the sperms, this is necessary. That means the temperature should be less than the normal body temperature. Now location is that is outside the abdominal cavity, present in the sac-like structure known as scrotum. Now its shape is oval shaped. Now its length is about 4 to 5 centimeter and width is about 2 to 3 centimeter. When we'll see this, and whole testis is covered by outer covering, and this is known as, now externally it is covered by the covering, and internally it is divided into about 250 lobules or the compartments, which is known as lobules, testicular lobules. Now each lobule, when we'll study the transverse section of each lobule, you can see there are 3 seminiferous tubules are present inside this. That means inside this the 3 long tubular, highly coiled tubular structure is there known as seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules. Now when we will cut the transverse section of this seminiferous tubules, this will appear like this. Now this internally, this seminiferous tubule having the 2 types of cells, which is lined by 2 types of cells. First is the spermatogonia or germ cells, and other cell is known as Sertoli cell. So inside the seminiferous, this is the seminiferous tubule. Here it is lined by 2 types of cells. First is spermatogonia or germ cell, which will undergo the process of spermatogenesis to give rise to sperm. And the other type of cell known as Sertoli cell, this cell will give nutrition to the developing sperm. Now outside this seminiferous tubule, here this portion is known as interstitial space. Interstitial space. This interstitial space having the special type of cell known as Leydig cells. These Leydig cells will produce the group of hormone known as androgen. These hormones are responsible for the spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis and other activities of the male reproductive system.
In this figure you can see the transverse section of testes. It contains the lobules of seminiferous tubules, and here the seminiferous tubules, this you can see it contains two types of cells, Sertoli cell and the spermatogonia. Spermatogonia undergoes development for giving rise to the sperm, and Sertoli cell will give nutrition to the developing sperm. That is spermatid. In this you can see the primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, which will convert into the spermatid, and finally it will give rise to sperms. And this the interstitial space outside this seminiferous tubules, this contains the Leydig cell, which is responsible for giving rise to the production of the testosterone, which is responsible for the sexual characters of the male.
Now, the accessory ducts of the male reproductive system consist of epitestis, then vasa efferentia, then epididymis and vas deferens. So, the duct arising from the seminiferous tubule will lead to epitestis, which will lead to vasa efferentia, leads to epididymis, then vasa deferens, and then finally it will open into urethra, and it is known as ejaculatory duct. The function of this ejaculatory duct to excrete the sperm, to carry the sperm or transportation of sperm. Now, the accessory glands which are helping the male reproductive system in functioning are a pair of seminal vesicle, then a prostate and a pair of bulbourethral gland. All these glands are responsible for producing the seminal plasma. The plasma is rich in calcium, then fructose, and it contains different types of enzymes which are responsible for different activities in the male reproductive system's functioning. Reproductive system. Male reproductive system undergoes the process of spermatogenesis or the formation of sperms, that is male gamete, from the male reproductive system. It starts at the time of puberty, and this is controlled by different types of hormones. Now, steps of spermatogenesis. Steps are, first step, the spermatogonia, which is present inside the seminiferous tubules, which are also known as germ cells, that will undergo the process of mitosis to increase their number. So, a big number of cells are produced of this spermatogonia. Out of that, some of the cells will behave as the primary spermatocyte, which will give rise to the sperm. This primary spermatocyte will now undergo the meiosis 1, because we are all knowing that meiosis has two parts, meiosis 1 and 2. So first of all it will undergo the meiosis 1, and at the end of meiosis 1 it will form two haploid cells which will be known as secondary spermatocyte. And this is, so primary spermatocyte has chromosome number that is 46, but here the secondary spermatocyte having chromosome number 23, because it is haploid in nature. Now the secondary spermatocyte will complete the second part of meiosis, that is meiosis 2, and finally at the end it will produce four haploid cells which is known as spermatids. Now these spermatids will undergo transformation process, and they will transform into the four spermatozoa, which is also haploid in nature. So from here, from the secondary spermatocyte, all are haploid, until primary spermatocyte it is diploid. Now, the transformation of spermatids into spermatozoa is known as spermiogenesis. So, whole phenomena is the production of spermatozoa from spermatogonia is known as spermatogenesis, but the part that is the spermiogenesis is the part of spermatogenesis in which the spermatids undergoes transformation process to produce spermatozoa. Now, after the formation of these sperms, they will be embedded, their head will be embedded in the Sertoli cell and inside the seminiferous tubules, and they will be released from that Sertoli cell, and this process of releasing of this sperms is known as the spermiation. So, spermiation is the process in which the sperms are released from the seminiferous tubules. Now,
in this figure, you can see the development of the sperm through the process of spermatogenesis. Now, the spermatogenesis takes place inside the seminiferous tubule, and here the spermatogonium, which is diploid structure, will undergo mitosis to give rise to the primary spermatocytes. Now these spermatocytes will undergo meiosis 1, and at the end of meiosis 1 they will give rise to the haploid structure known as secondary spermatocyte. These secondary spermatocyte will enter into the meiosis 2, and it will give rise to 4 spermatids. Now these spermatids will undergo the spermiogenesis, and it will transform into the sperm, which is 4 in number, haploid structure, and that will used in the process of fertilization.